A single premium peony stem at a Manhattan florist in January fetches $25. That is a 600% markup over its June value. The price gap has less to do with Southern Hemisphere shipping costs than with a supply chain built around a biological bottleneck. The peony is the definitive flash crop. It blooms for 7 to 10 days, and then it disappears. The $800 million cut flower industry, however, has long operated on a different assumption: that the bloom doesn't have to end when the plant decides it does. Cut a peony at the precise moment of its marshmallow stage, seal it against moisture, and drop its metabolic rate to near freezing, and it enters suspended animation. It doesn't deteriorate. It pauses. What follows is a deconstruction of the commercial cold chain and a method for turning a standard kitchen refrigerator into a floral vault capable of holding blooms for up to 6 weeks. Section 2. The economics of the bloom. The global peony market was valued at $515 million. In 2024, the cut flower subsector is approaching $1 billion valuation. In the Northern Hemisphere, peak bloom compresses into a chaotic 6-week window between May and June. The Netherlands, which moves 55 million stems annually, is the industry's production center. Dutch auction data reveals a brutal price curve. Wholesale stems command over $1.20 in April, when supply is tight, and collapse to 40 cents in June, when the market floods. For a home grower or small-scale flower farmer, that volatility is a structural problem. A garden yields 100 stems simultaneously, and without intervention, most of them become mulch within a week. Cold storage functions as a hedge, a way to bank your flowers in June and deploy them in late July for weddings, events, or personal use. Section 3. The ants and the symbiosis mistake. The persistent garden myth that peonies require ants to open is incorrect. Ants are drawn to the bud's extrafloral nectaries, sugar secretions on the surface. They are not performing any pollination service. The storage implication is concrete. A bud going into cold storage with ants or residual nectar carries 2 distinct risks. Dead insects in a sealed bag create localized rot, and the sugar itself is a feeding substrate for fungi, particularly cladosporium, which produces sooty mold. Professional growers address this with a dry wipe. Before bagging, a soft, dry microfiber cloth is used to remove nectar from the bud surface. It eliminates the food source for mold and keeps the storage environment clean. Section 4. The Marshmallow Test. The harvest window is the single most consequential variable. A 12-hour error in either direction compromises the result. The tactile benchmark used by researchers at Hollingsworth Peonies and Michigan State University is called the Marshmallow Test. A bud that feels like a marble is too early. The vascular system hasn't developed sufficient capacity to draw water after revival. It will remain a hard green ball indefinitely. A bud with the give of a fresh marshmallow, yielding but resilient under thumb pressure, is ready. Crucially, true petal color must already be visible through the sepals. A bud that is still entirely green, even if soft, is not yet at the correct stage. Stem length matters as well. A cut of 16 to 18 inches is the working minimum. Revival requires removing the bottom 2 inches to clear the vascular embolism that forms during storage. A stem cut too short at harvest won't have sufficient length left to support the bloom in a vase. Section 5. Varietal sensitivity. Most storage guides treat peonies as a uniform category. They are not. Storability correlates directly with petal count and variety. Double-flowered varieties. Sarah Bernhardt is the standard commercial reference. Are the most reliable. The high petal count preserves moisture and structural integrity. Through extended cold periods, they are the most forgiving of temperature fluctuations. In a home refrigerator, semi-doubles offer a solid 3 to 4 week window. Single and Japanese form peonies have low petal counts that make them susceptible to rapid dehydration. They shatter easily, and they are poor candidates for cold storage. Coral varieties, including coral charm, present a separate complication. They change color during refrigeration. A coral bud stored at cold temperatures may emerge as cream or near white. This is a genetic response, not deterioration, but it requires planning if color consistency matters. For anyone new to the process, doubles are the practical starting point. Section 6. The physics of the SEALED environment. A frost-free refrigerator is, by design, a dehydrating environment. The frost-free mechanism works by cycling air across cooling coils to condense and remove ambient moisture. An unprotected flower placed inside will desiccate within 48 hours. Proper storage uses a 3-layer protocol. First, every leaf is removed before bagging. Leaves are active transpiration surfaces. They pull moisture out of the stem and deposit it as condensation inside the bag, which accelerates rot. Second, stems are wrapped in dry newspaper or butcher paper in bundles of 5 to 10. The paper regulates humidity, absorbing excess moisture, while preventing petals from making direct contact with cold plastic. Third, the bundle goes into a 2-gallon freezer bag with as much air pressed out as possible. This creates a low oxygen, high humidity microclimate around the stems. Section 7. Ethylene, the silent accelerant. The main kitchen refrigerator is a common storage choice and a consistent source of failure. Ripening fruit. Apples, bananas, and avocados are the primary offenders. Emit ethylene gas. Ethylene is a natural ripening hormone. In flowers, it triggers abscission, the physiological process by which the plant sheds its petals. At storage temperature, ethylene will penetrate plastic bags and initiate petal drop, regardless of how carefully the flowers were prepared. The practical rule is straightforward. A refrigerator used for peony storage should not contain ripening produce when shared space is unavoidable. Ethylene absorption sachets. Standard equipment in commercial produce shipping placed inside the fridge will neutralize the gas. Section 8. Botrytis and pathogen load. Cold temperatures slow fungal activity. They do not stop it. Botrytis cinerea, gray mold, is the primary biological threat to stored peonies and the most common cause of storage failure. 2 conditions must be met before any flower goes into a bag. It must be dry, flowers cut after rain, or while dew is still present, cannot go directly into storage, and the temperature must be as stable as possible. Commercial coolers hold a steady 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Home refrigerators typically fluctuate between 36 and 40 degrees, and each degree above freezing approximately doubles the metabolic rate of Botrytis spores. That variance is the principal reason home-stored peonies reliably max out at 3 to 4 weeks, while commercial cold chain flowers hold for up to 10. Section 9. The revival. Flowers coming out of cold storage will appear compromised, limp, slightly shriveled, visually unconvincing. This is temporary flaccidity, not irreversible damage. 2 inches are cut from the bottom of each stem at a 45-degree angle. This removes the air embolism that formed in the vascular tissue. During storage, stems go into room temperature water, 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Not cold water. Cold water moves too slowly through dehydrated tissue. To be effective, for the first 4 hours, the flowers are kept in a cool, dark location. Direct light at this stage causes the upper portion of the flower to transpire faster than the stem can hydrate it, which breaks the neck. Full cell turgor, the internal water pressure that holds the stem upright, requires approximately 24 hours to restore. Section 10. The Biological Bank. The Netherlands exports tens of millions of peony stems each year, none of which reach a customer without passing through the cold chain. The methods are not proprietary. The Marshmallow Test, Ethylene management, and the petal count advantage of double varieties are documented, applicable, and reproducible at home scale. The result is a June bloom on an August table, not an artifact of industry infrastructure, but a straightforward consequence of controlled metabolism.